Namaste everyone. In this video we shall solve a question related to chemistry. This is a question from chapter 1 called chemical reactions and equations. So here there are 4 questions. In fact, this question is a case study question asked by the CBSE. It is available in the CBSE website. You just need to go to the CBSE website, uh, select the academic website in that, and in that you will have question bank. So if you click on question bank and select the class and the subject, that is class 10 in science, you'll be able to download these case study questions from the CBSE website. So we are taking one such question here. In this question, in the first sub question, the substance not likely to contain calcium carbonate. The substance not likely to contain calcium carbonate is. So we'll go option by option. Here we are interested in the substance which does not contain calcium carbonate. So what is dolomite? The first option, dolomite. Dolomite is a type of limestone. Dolomite is a type of limestone. It's a type of limestone. So whose formula is CaMgCO3 twice. CaMgCO3 twice. As you can see, there is presence of calcium carbonate here. There is presence of calcium carbonate, but we want to choose a substance which does not have calcium carbonate. So therefore, dolomite will not be the correct option. Then marble statue. Option B is marble statue. There are some substances. It's better we remember the substances which contain calcium carbonate. One of them is marble. We have eggshells. As mentioned here, limestone. Then we have some minerals like calcite, chalk, seashells, etc. These are some of the common substances that contain calcium carbonate. So here it's marble, and we know marble is one of the substances that contains calcium carbonate, but we are supposed to choose which does not contain calcium carbonate. So marble is not the correct option. Calcined gypsum. So you will learn more about this substance called gypsum. This substance called gypsum in the next chapter under the heading water of crystallization. So anyways, gypsum is CaSO4.2H2. It is calcium sulfate dihydrate. Now what is calcined gypsum? Calcined gypsum is obtained by partially dehydrating gypsum. If you partially dehydrate gypsum, you will get something called as calcined gypsum. So dehydrating means you will have to remove the water content, and calcined gypsum is CaSO4.2H2. It is actually more popularly known as plaster of Paris. Anyways, if you know the formula of calcined gypsum or even gypsum, you can see that it does not contain calcium carbonate, and therefore the correct option for the first question is calcined gypsum. And what about option D? So option D, I told you, we can just have a look at some of the substances which contain calcium carbonate, and seashells are one of the substances that contain calcium carbonate, but we are supposed to choose the substance which does not likely to contain calcium carbonate. Next. So we have answered the first question. The correct option is option C. A student added 10 grams of calcium carbonate in a rigid container, secured it tightly, and started to heat it. After some time, an increase in pressure was observed. The pressure reading was then noted at intervals of 5 minutes and plotted against time in a graph as shown below. During which time interval did the decomposition took place? So here so this graph is plotted by taking the readings after every 5 minutes. So here they have not mentioned the intervals, though they have mentioned the intervals here. In the graph it is not mentioned, but as it is very clear from the question, after every 5 minutes the reading is taken, the reading of pressure is taken here. So it is like 5, 10, 15. Here the time is given in minutes. So remember, maximum decomposition or decomposition will take place when there is a very high change in pressure. When there is a very high change in pressure during the interval where we can see a lot of change in pressure, and during that interval we can say that decomposition has taken place. So 0 to 5 minutes, here to here. So there is compared to the other intervals, you can see that the graph is more steeper here. It is more steeper. More steeper graph means more change in the pressure with respect to time. So therefore, between this interval, which interval? 0 to 5 minutes. Between the interval 0 to 5 minutes, there is maximum decomposition, or decomposition has taken place. Next, let's answer the third question. Gas obtained into, means in this question, is a reactant. Is a reactant in a very important biochemical process which occurs in the presence of sunlight. Here itself you have the hint about a biochemical process which takes place in the presence of sunlight. Anyways, we need to identify the process: respiration, photosynthesis, transpirations, photolysis. So first of all, let's identify what is gas A. So in obtained into what is done by a student? The student has heated calcium carbonate. So calcium carbonate, when it is heated, it splits itself to form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. A single reactant breaks itself using heat energy to form two products. Therefore, this reaction is a thermal decomposition reaction. Now, calcium carbonate is a solid, even calcium oxide is a solid, whereas carbon dioxide is a gas. So now, what is the gas that is obtained into? The gas obtained into is carbon dioxide. Now this gas is a reactant in a very important biochemical process where this gas acts as one of the reactants. Already we have the hint that this reaction takes place in the place of sunlight, and we know that photosynthesis is the process. It's a biochemical process that takes place in the presence of sunlight, and carbon dioxide is one of the reactants in the process photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide is one of the reactants in photosynthesis, and it takes place in the presence of sunlight and a pigment called chlorophyll to form C6H12O6 glucose, and a very important product is formed in this process, which is essential for all the living organisms, especially the aerobic organisms, to survive, and that is oxygen. I have already made a video on how to balance this chemical equations. In simple, you can just remember, put 6 everywhere except this. Put 6 everywhere except in front of this product, that is glucose. So this is the balanced chemical equation. And anyways, the name of, they are interested in knowing the name of the process, and the name of the process is photosynthesis. Now, calcium oxide, fourth question. Calcium oxide can be reduced to calcium by heating with sodium metal. Which compound is an oxidizing agent in the above process? Now let's see. Okay, they are talking about calcium oxide. So this can be reduced to calcium by heating with sodium metal. So what are the two reactants here? Calcium oxide and sodium. So if you heat it, heat these two reactants, so you will get calcium metal and sodium oxide. Sodium oxide formula is Na2O. Why? Because sodium valency is 1, oxygen valency is 2. Now this particular reaction is not balanced, so how do we balance here? You can put a 2 here, so 2 sodium atoms, 1 oxygen atom on either side, and calcium is anyways balanced. Calcium 1, oxygen 1, 2 sodium. Now this is an example of displacement reaction. This is an example of displacement reaction. Why? Because a more reactive metal displaces less reactive metal from its compound. Anyways, coming back to the question, they're interested in knowing what is the oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent at the level of 10 standard can be defined as a substance that helps in oxidation. A substance which helps in oxidation is called as oxidizing agent. How does it help? By providing oxygen. By providing oxygen, the substance called oxidizing agent will act as oxidizing agent. Here, what is the oxidizing agent? So whenever they're asking you to identify the oxidizing agent or a reducing agent, concentrate on the reactants. Only reactants can be called as oxidizing agents or reducing agents. Now, which of the two reactants is supplying oxygen? Which has oxygen will have to supply. So obviously, calcium oxide is supplying oxygen to this sodium, and it is helping in oxidation of sodium. Sodium is getting oxidized by taking oxygen provided by calcium oxide. So therefore, calcium oxide is helping in oxidation of sodium to sodium oxide. Therefore, calcium oxide is the oxidizing agent in the reaction. So what is the correct answer? Option D. Calcium oxide is the oxidizing agent in the above process. So we have answered all these 4 questions. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share. Please do not forget to share. Let these videos reach those students who don't have access to good teaching. I hope these videos will help them and understand the concepts better and do well in their exams. Thank you for watching. Thank you again.